I heard a joke that 90% of people are trying to sell face masks and hand sanitizers to the 10% of the people who aren't selling them. I'm Gulraj Shahpuri. I'm a leadership trainer and business coach. And if you're one of those people that's thinking of jumping ship and doing something that's totally different in these times, well, this 2-Minute Tuesday video is just for you. Now, what I'm seeing nowadays is kind of similar to what I saw in the early 2000s, where people who weren't exactly sure about what they should be doing, they all wanted to jump into the real estate market. Now, mind you, not everybody could buy and sell and speculate property. So what most people wanted to do, and about 10,000 people a day were getting into, was actually becoming realtors and becoming brokers. Why? Because everybody wanted to buy and sell, and they also wanted a piece of the action. And what I'm seeing nowadays is about 10,000 people are trying to get in on something else too. And you know what I saw at the end of that whole real estate crash in the late 2000s was about 10,000 people a day were getting out of the real estate market because there was nothing there, because their core competencies was not real estate. And this is what I'm seeing right now. So we're going to put 2 minutes on the clock, and I'm going to tell you whether you should get into something new and what it takes to survive in new markets. I want to share 3 concepts with you, and the first one is called related diversification. Do not get into a field that you know nothing about. If you're already selling medical equipment, then it makes sense to get into PPE kits and face masks and hand sanitizers. But if you're not into this field, then it really doesn't make sense. Let's say you're producing movies and now you want a piece of the action, and you feel that, you know what, in the shops, this thing is really selling right now and there's a shortage. I want to get into it. Well, firstly, it's not a blue ocean because everybody's already jumped into it. If you do make it, you're very, very lucky because the odds are completely stacked against you. Number 2, when you come into any market, you have to have a strategy. And if your strategy is the first one, which is called low-cost leadership, you're going to do well because people are always looking for a good low-cost value for money product as well. But there's a problem because a low-cost leadership strategy doesn't work forever. And here's why. Because you're not in the blue ocean. Eventually, everybody will figure out your supplies. Everybody will figure out where to get the product from at your price point or produce it at your price point. And then the profits eventually go to zero. So it's not a long-term strategy, but it's a good one until everybody else starts getting into it. Then you have nothing to do. The second strategy is product differentiation. If your product is different than others, people are going to buy it because of the USPs your product has, at least till others start copying your product. But as long as you can keep it different and build a moat around it, your product is going to be unique and have its unique set of combinations and selling features. And for a while, it's going to do well. The third of the strategies is go up market. Now, create a brand or a product that has a luxury or an appeal that not everybody can afford, but everybody wants. And the scarcity is going to create the desirability. Now, Mercedes did this with Maybach. Maybach was a car that didn't cost a whole lot more than a Mercedes to produce, but it went head to head with Bentley because of the novelty and the luxury factor of it. Most of the time when you see a new entrant in the market, they'll use a combination of a couple of the strategies. So you don't have to stick to one. You can also have a combination of 2 strategies like this, as long as you can do everything better than your competitors. So what you need to do is divide every aspect of the business you're getting into or the product into its separate components and find a way to build a better mousetrap. Everybody eventually will want to have a piece of your product or service because anything else doesn't make any sense. Oh, that's our time. Now, one final advice is that when you get into any new business or market, of course, you've made some presumptions. Now, you could be the most sincere person, but you could be sincerely wrong. Don't go out and throwing Hail Marys. You want to do something for the right reasons. As long as you have a strategic advantage and you know that you could be doing better than everybody else and you've understood not just the supply side but the demand side, then I think you have a fair chance at making anything succeed. Let's quickly summarize. Firstly, it has to be a related diversification. Secondly, know your entrance strategy and pick from one of the 3 strategies or pick one of the combinations. And number 3, yes, there's always room for a new player so long as you can do everything better than anybody else in the market. If you got valuable tips, do hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you part of our family. Thank you for joining me on this 2-minute journey. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you enjoyed the channel.